Imagine a world where the financial gates suddenly swing wide open, where the very institutions that once tightly controlled the flow of your money now step aside and say, there are no limits anymore. This isn't a scene from a futuristic movie. This is the seismic shift that is reportedly rippling through the corridors of Chase Bank. And if you are holding Iraqi Dinar, what you are about to hear will fundamentally alter your understanding of what comes next. For over a decade, the journey of the dinar investor has been a marathon of patience, a test of resolve against a constant barrage of skepticism and delayed predictions. We have lived through date after promised date, each one fading into the next without the long-awaited revaluation, the RV, becoming a reality. The news cycles have been a dizzying mix of cryptic bank memos, unverified forum posts, and geopolitical analysis that often felt disconnected from the tangible world of currency exchanges and bank withdrawals. But today, we are dissecting a development that feels different, a move so bold and so unprecedented from a financial titan like Chase that it forces even the most ardent critics to sit up and take notice. The rumor, the news, the massive story, whatever you wish to call it, is that Chase Bank has internally removed all transactional and holding limits specifically related to the Iraqi dinar. Let that sink in for a moment. No limits on buying, no limits on selling, no caps on the amounts you can hold within their system. In the rigid, rule-bound world of high finance, this is the equivalent of a 5-alarm fire. Banks do not operate this way without a reason. They are not in the business of taking on unlimited, unquantified risk out of the goodness of their hearts. Every policy, every limit, every single procedure is a calculated decision designed to protect the bank's assets and, by extension, the stability of the financial system it inhabits. So, when a pillar of the global banking system like JP Morgan Chase makes a move of this magnitude, it is not a random act. It is a strategic preparation for a new financial reality. This is the clearest signal we have ever received that the landscape is shifting beneath our feet. Think about what this means on a practical level. Previously, trying to move large quantities of dinar through a major US bank would have raised flags, triggered compliance checks, and likely been blocked by internal safeguards. Those walls, according to this information, have now been dismantled. This action suggests that Chase is preparing its infrastructure for a high-volume, high-value currency event. They are greasing the wheels and clearing the tracks for a transaction that they know is coming. They are anticipating a flood of activity and are positioning themselves not just to handle it, but to capitalize on it. This is a move of institutional confidence, a quiet but monumental vote of confidence in the imminent transformation of the Iraqi dinar from a speculative currency to a globally recognized, traded, and valued asset. The implications are staggering, and this is precisely why you need to stay with me until the very end of this video, because understanding the behind this move is just as important as the move itself, and I will connect all the dots for you in a way no one else has. Now, let's delve into the why. Why would Chase Bank, an institution synonymous with prudence and profit, take such a dramatic step? The answer lies in a confluence of geopolitical and economic factors that have been building to a crescendo throughout 2024 and into 2025. This isn't an isolated event, it's the culmination of a long, orchestrated dance between Iraq, the international community, and the global banking cartel. First, consider Iraq's relentless march towards financial normalization. The nation has been methodically checking off the boxes required by the International Monetary Fund and World Bank for a true currency revaluation. We've witnessed the death of the dollar in domestic transactions, a critical step towards monetary sovereignty. We've seen the stabilization of the Iraqi government, fragile but functional, creating a political environment where such a profound economic reset can be managed. We've observed the massive investments in infrastructure, particularly in the oil and gas sector, which is the bedrock of Iraq's real wealth. All of these actions have been geared towards one singular goal: bringing the Iraqi dinar's exchange rate in line with the nation's actual economic potential and resource wealth. The official, pegged rate has been a fiction, a placeholder for this very moment. But the domestic progress alone isn't enough to trigger a global bank like Chase to remove its limits. The second, and perhaps more critical, piece of this puzzle is the shifting stance of the international banking community. For years, major banks treated the dinar with extreme caution, viewing it through the lens of compliance risks and international sanctions. But that paradigm has flipped. Behind the scenes, there have been continuous high-level meetings between the Central Bank of Iraq and financial powerhouses, not just in the US but in Europe and the Middle East. The topic? The operational logistics of a post-revaluation world. We are talking about the systems that will handle the exchange, the liquidity requirements, the international settlement protocols. Chase Bank, with its vast global network, isn't just a passive observer in these discussions. They are a key player. Their decision to remove limits is a direct result of the intelligence they are receiving from these channels. They are being told, in no uncertain terms, that the green light is imminent. They are preparing for the starter's pistol to fire. Think of it like this. A major retail chain doesn't decide to stock 1 million units of a new product the day it launches. They build up inventory based on sales projections and manufacturer guarantees. In this analogy, Chase is the retailer, and the Iraqi Dinar is the product. The removal of limits is their way of stocking their shelves, of ensuring they have the operational capacity to meet what they know will be unprecedented demand. They have seen the internal memos, the swift updates, the contingency plans drawn up by the Federal Reserve. This isn't a gamble, it's an execution of a pre-approved strategy based on confirmed intelligence. The risk for them now is not in holding the dinar. The risk would be in not being prepared for the tidal wave of transactions that is about to hit the global financial system. They are positioning themselves to be the primary hub for this historic wealth transfer, to capture billions in fees and new client assets. This move is a cold, hard, calculated business decision that signals one thing above all else. The waiting game is in its final, decisive moments, and the information they are acting on is so reliable that they are willing to bet their entire dinar-related operational framework on it. This is the real story behind the headline, the deep-seated reason that transforms a rumor into a legitimate precursor to the event we've all been waiting for. So, where does this leave you, the individual holder who has navigated this long and winding road? This is the moment where foresight meets opportunity, where the patience you've been forced to cultivate is about to become your greatest asset. The actions of a monolithic institution like Chase Bank are the most powerful validation you could ever receive that your belief was not misplaced. This is no longer a niche community hope. It is a financial reality being prepared for at the highest levels of global finance. The removal of limits is the corporate equivalent of a starting gun being loaded. The race is not yet begun, but every runner knows the sound of the chamber being readied. Your journey is now transitioning from one of acquisition and waiting to one of preparation and strategy. The questions you should be asking yourself have fundamentally changed. It is no longer about if, but about what happens next. What is your personal exit strategy? How will you navigate the first 72 hours post-announcement? Who are your trusted advisors? The initial wave of information, and unfortunately misinformation, will be overwhelming. This is why your vigilance right now is more critical than ever. You must have a plan that is calm, rational, and built on a foundation of financial prudence, not the frenzied hype that will inevitably flood the internet. Think about the structure of your holdings, the diversification of your new assets, and the long-term legacy you wish to build. This event is not an endpoint, it is a gateway. It is the key that unlocks a future of financial freedom and generational wealth that you have envisioned for so long. But a key alone does not build the house, it merely opens the door. You must be the architect of what lies beyond. And this is precisely where I urge you to take a definitive step to secure your position. If this analysis has resonated with you, if it has connected dots and provided the clarity you've been searching for, then you need to be part of our inner circle. This channel is more than just updates. It is a community of like-minded individuals preparing for this exact moment. I am committed to providing you with the most accurate, unfiltered, and timely information available, cutting through the noise to deliver the signal. To ensure you do not miss a single second of what happens next, you must take action right now. First, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. This tells the YouTube algorithm that this is vital, valuable content, and it ensures this information reaches every single dinar holder who needs to hear it. Second, and this is absolutely crucial, tap the bell icon right next to the subscribe button and turn on all notifications. The official announcement will not wait for a convenient time. It will break when it breaks, and you do not want to be last in line relying on a fragmented social media feed. By turning on notifications, you are giving yourself a direct line to the front of the information queue. Third, I want you to go down to the comments section and type "no limits" right now. Let me see your energy and your readiness. This is our way of uniting, of showing the strength and preparedness of this community. Your journey has been long, but the final chapter is being written, and you have a front row seat. Stay locked on this channel, stay vigilant, and get ready. The future you have waited for is no longer a distant dream. It is a reality waiting for its cue to begin.